Bill.
Good to see you, Sameer.
Good to see you. Wonderful being here.
Yeah. Not a bad day at the ballpark.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Lovely. I tell you, I think you have probably the best job a CIO can ever have. CIO of the San Francisco Giants. Wow, that's pretty cool. I've always been curious, what does your team do to create fan experiences when people come into a ballpark here or back in San Francisco?
So on the business side, we have to focus on the fan experience, and however we can make an impact on that experience through technology, through innovation, overtly or indirectly, it's a huge charge for all of us on the business side. So, so much has changed over the 25 years. It's been a ton of fun to be able to see that. Investing in the fan experience and coming up with creative, innovative ways to keep fans of all ages, all demographics, all of them coming out, and it's a challenge forever. It's a lot of fun.
And it's also building loyalty, because if I go in and I have a great experience, I'm more likely to bring my family next time and friends next time. I can kind of relate to the same thing in my business as well. It's so important for us to retain our customers and have loyal customers, so that way you get longer lifetime value from the customer. And if we can wow them through their entire journey as they deal with our company, and they're likely to come back and renew the subscription. It's nothing like keeping who you have and getting them to renew year after year. So same thing with baseball, I guess we have some.
You're trying to create and retain fans just like we are. We have shifted our focus quite a bit more on innovating to reduce costs, as you say, and the cloud can be a part of that. Moving things to the cloud, because while it may be difficult to quantify the expense of having on-premise technology, oftentimes the cloud is a monthly cost, and your operational expenses may be or your capital expenses may be a big investment once every 2 or 3 years, but you also have to maintain that. And so really looking closely at the cloud and whether there are cost savings opportunities there. For us, we recently transitioned our entire point of sale system over to the cloud, and seeing the impacts of that from a cost perspective and assessing that, I think, is a big part of it.
And I agree. And most of my stuff runs either as a SaaS or a majority of it in the cloud. But I think one has to be careful. And sometimes I've seen it's a lot more effective to run certain workloads within the data center and not move them to the cloud just for the sake of moving them to the cloud, because they tend to be more expensive in the cloud. So
they can be more expensive, and you also are now relying upon that pipe also. The pipe is the single point of failure. Exactly. So not everything is destined for the cloud, but you got to take a close look at each workload.
What about talent? What's your view on that?
I've been at the Giants a long time. This is my 25th season. And we have a lot of retention across the business overall. And I think it's about creating a culture where people feel appreciated and recognized. But honestly, in the industry that we're in, I think actual financial compensation, while important, is not the path to retention.
Right.
Because someone always can pay you more money.
Yes, exactly. It's what you provide to them in return, and the experiences and the culture that always trumps the dollars. Dollars are important, but then the other things are equally important.
It's so different than when we were starting our careers, where you look at people's LinkedIn history and their resumes, and they bounce. It's typical in the Valley, people bounce every 2-3 years. Yeah. We really try to buck that trend. Are you guys really operating differently today in terms of how you leverage data to make decisions as a business?
Being a B2C company, it's really important to understand how your customers are experiencing your products, right? You get data from the product directly. People are coming into your website, they put the product in the shopping cart, they don't necessarily always check out. So to understand that entire journey of how people are interacting with you and interfacing with you, that's really important. What makes customers come back or not come back the next year, to know that. So the more data you have, the more you can make those kind of decisions, to analyze that data. Having data is part of the solution, but really understanding what that data is telling you, that's where the focus should be. And if you can get to those insights that the data is giving you and then make decisions based on those insights, I think you're set up for success.
Yeah, getting the data, capturing all that data is kind of table stakes now. You gotta start there. But then, you know, what questions are you not asking? What can the data tell you without you even asking the question? It's pretty cool for us in terms of baseball and the amount of data that we can capture and how much that's grown over the years, both on the field and as a business. We focus so much on ticket sales and optimizing our ticket sales pricing and reselling tickets, and we've put a lot into that over the years. But I feel like a neglected area for us and where we're focusing more is concessions, and how can pricing of concessions, promotion of concessions, and different products, different offers during a game impact behavior. And so that's the next frontier for us.
And do you actually use data to drive concessions and special offers and concessions? Is it all data driven, or is it more gut, this is how I think it'll work?
You know, it's historically a lot of gut goes into it, and the folks running these organizations often didn't get there with data. But there's so much else there. You know, how long do people spend in line? How much are they spending? Do they come back? Do they prefer to order from their seat? Do they prefer for it to be delivered to their seat? So in terms of the level of investment in analytics and data, I would say 5-10x on the baseball side versus the business side, and maybe a couple years ahead. But still on the baseball side, there's still so much untapped potential. It's like mining for gold, and there's more gold down there. And each year we're capturing more data. I can remember the days when all we would capture is the speed of the pitch. That's it, and that wasn't that long ago. You were using like a radar gun, like tracking a car to give them a speeding tick. Now we track that pitch every spot along the way, 60 frames per second or however many frames it is. You track the spin rate. We're tracking the players in the field, and not just the players, the individual body parts on the players. You know, you've got multiple points that you're tracking. You're tracking the biomechanics and the biometrics and all this stuff. And again, it's still just the tip of the iceberg. So ultimately, it's all about wins and losses on the field. And
how do you maximize your advantage by using whatever knowledge you have about a player, about the pitch, about every other aspect of the game? I guess that's same thing in business too, right?
Yeah.
That's how you win.
Hey, did you like what you learned? Make sure to check out this video or this link, and of course, subscribe now.